Welcome back to Just a Bit Offside. I'm Fish.
K-Dog.
It's our Week 11 NFL recap show. Amazing games. We're going to try and keep it tighter.
Keep it tight.
Jump right into it. Thursday Night Football, where the Titans were in Lambeau taking on K-Dog's Packers. And the Packers were actually a 3-point favorite. They were coming off of a hot win, thinking the Packers had a little juice. But the Titans are really good. They are 7-1 in their last 8 games.
They're sneaky good.
Yeah, they're sneaky good.
Yeah.
So the Packers did not fare well. What was the final score?
Titans 27, Packers 17.
There you go. Win by 10. Is there? Let's throw some stats. What happened in that game?
Not a lot on the Packers. Except for Christian Watson, who had 2 touchdowns. But
Coming off of a game where he got 3 touchdowns the week before.
That's that's something to look forward to next season. But
that's solid.
Tannehill, 33 yards, 2 TDs, interception, 3 sacks. Rodgers, 227 yards, 2 TDs, and a sack. Nothing crazy. So,
and
not a great game.
The Packers just couldn't get it going. The Titans really tough. Derrick Henry with another solid game.
They couldn't get their Packers couldn't get their run game going. Aaron Jones had 40 yards. Dillon had 13. Just not enough run game.
I think Aaron Jones had a bit of receiving yards as well to help kind of make up for it.
Not really.
But they really just, the Packers couldn't get it done. The Titans were too tough. Came in with the W. Also on our recap shows, we have prediction shows where we say who we think is going to win. We have a season total there. We'll get B Money to put that up there. I don't even remember where we're at right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm up 9.
About that. Yeah, about that.
Because you had won that Week 10 Monday Night Football matchup. So who predicted this game?
Yeah.
I believe I did.
You took the Titans. I took the Packers. But at least Randall Cobb was back.
Oh, that's good.
That was good.
That's good.
He had 6 receptions for 73 yards. I was happy about that.
That's pretty good.
There were some bright lights, some bright moments for the Packers.
I think Watson's great, and I think when Dobbs, the other rookie wide receiver for the Packers, is healthy, I think going forward for the future, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
But they definitely need some help on the offensive line and the defense.
Well, the good news is we just run the table. And we'll still miss the playoffs.
You probably will miss.
And we're playing the Eagles on Sunday, so
we'll see. All right, next Sunday games. What kicked it off at the 1 o'clock hour?
Chicago and the Falcons.
The Falcons.
The Bears and the Falcons.
The Falcons are like, we've been shitting on them pretty hard recently. Mariota has been playing like dog crap. They managed to sneak out this win. The Bears actually looked pretty good for most of the game. Justin Fields not getting enough credit for how good he is on the ground.
Yeah.
The Bears are not very good at passing the ball, but Justin Fields is doing very well in rushing, even compared to running backs.
Yeah, he's actually 5th in the league right now, 834 yards rushing.
Right behind Nick Chubb.
Right behind Nick Chubb, which is
crazy.
Impressive. And again, this game was the same thing. He threw for 153 yards, 1 TD, 1 interception, got sacked 4 times because he's always running.
Yeah.
But he led the team in rushing again with 85 yards, and he had a TD.
He rushed in a
TD,
yeah.
So there you go.
But the Falcons ended up pulling it out. Drake London got a touchdown. The very good wide receiver. Cordell Patterson had a really solid game.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, Atlanta just pulled it out, right? Algier had 55 yards on the ground. Patterson had 55 yards on the ground as well. Mariota had 25 yards on the ground, and he ran a touchdown in. Mariota was like, I'm going for it.
Look out.
So Atlanta wins. They're still in second in their goddamn division.
Yeah.
Tampa's leading it.
That's a horrible division.
5-5. And Atlanta's managing to hang on to the second spot.
And who are the Falcons playing, though, in Week 12?
I wrote it down here. They're playing Washington.
So Washington is on a roll.
Heine's coming to town, baby.
I don't think that the Falcons are probably going to win that game just because of the Commanders' defense. But, I don't know if the Falcons can pull out a wild card right now. They're at 500. So
who knows?
We'll see. Oh, who predicted
see what happens.
Who in that game?
Chicago will be okay in a couple years. You took the Falcons. I took the Bears.
All right.
Once again, I am 0 for 2.
I get a point for that one. Next up, 1 o'clock games.
Carolina and Baltimore in Baltimore.
Now, this game, I actually watched the beginning of this game, and it was very slow. It was 3-3 forever.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the Ravens should be way better than this, especially against the Panthers. But the Ravens keep pulling out these wins. They're not losing, but they're not playing great.
No.
And Jackson, again, poor game, managed to, again, just win it by going on the ground.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, it was 13-3 final.
Yeah.
You know, not a lot going on. They were pretty sleepy the whole game. Baker, 196 yards, no TDs, 2 interceptions, 4 sacks. Solid game.
Not good. And he recently got replaced, or he replaced PJ Walker, who Baker had been injured or benched. I can't remember. And PJ came in, and now PJ's out.
Baker was injured for a while.
Yeah, he was injured.
Yeah. But Lamar had a game. He had 209 yards, no TDs, 1 interception, 3 sacks. He rushed 31 yards, and he had a TD, which I think was the only TD of the game.
I believe so, yeah.
So, honestly, Carolina's rushing yards, Carolina rushed 36 yards.
Oh, it's bad.
Like, 36 yards.
That's bad.
Like, you know, then the receiving was only 196. There's nothing to really even talk about in this game. It was like, there was nothing to it. Like, it was just, the only thing that's going on for the Ravens right now, they're leading their division, right? They're 7-3. The Bengals are 6-4. The rest of their schedule is pretty light. They got the Jags, the Broncos, the Steelers, the Browns, the Falcons, the Steelers, and the Bengals.
That's pretty good.
That's a pretty easy schedule.
The division might come down to that last game versus the Bengals. That'll be very interesting. Also, it should be noted that Gus the Bus was scheduled to come back and did not.
Okay,
so the Ravens will get better with Gus Edwards running the ball coming next week. He did not. He was not healthy enough to come back for this game.
Now, I already prepared for you to saying that last game against Cincinnati could win the division. Yeah. However, this is the Bengals schedule.
Okay.
Steelers, Titans, Chiefs, Browns, Bucks, Patriots, Bills, and then the Ravens.
All right, the Bengals definitely have a tougher schedule, but I bet you anything they'll be pretty, because I could see the Ravens losing a couple. I bet you'll be pretty even. I bet you the last game of the season will decide the division.
I can see the Ravens losing to the Browns.
It's very possible. The Browns are
should
sneaky.
They should be better. Sneaky.
And Deshaun Watson's coming back in 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm so excited. No one's seen him throw a football in literally 7 years.
He practiced. First team reps.
Really?
Yeah.
With a football?
With a football.
Or they just had him doing jumping jacks?
He was with a football.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yay! Let's see if Deshaun Watson can actually remember how to play football.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. So that who took who in that game?
Let's see. We both took the Ravens.
All right. So we both won that one.
Yeah.
Next game.
We're going to it's in Detroit because it got snowed out.
So that's interesting of note. The Buffalo Bills could not do their game. It was all over social media. The Buffalo Bills Stadium, just a blizzard, 7 feet of snow in Buffalo. So they actually, because the Lions were on the road, they held the Buffalo Bills home game in the Detroit Lions Stadium.
Yeah.
And who did the Bills play again? The Browns.
The Browns.
Yeah.
The Browns. Yeah.
So it was interesting to have a home game sort of on the road, but the Bills are so tough and so good. I'll give the Browns credit. Jacoby Brissett had a really good game.
He had a really good game. Yeah.
But they just couldn't pull it out. The Bills win this one. A home game on the road in Detroit because of the snow.
Yeah. Bills won 31-23. Brissett had 324 yards, 3 TDs. No interceptions and 1 sack.
That's a really good game. Yeah.
Allen only had 197 yards, 1 TD, 2 sacks. But here's what I think was really good for Buffalo is Allen only had 7 yards rushing. You got
less.
You want him to have less.
Yeah.
He runs too much.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's gonna get his clock cleaned.
Yeah.
You know, rush less. So the fact that he only rushed 7 yards, that was actually really good for Buffalo.
Stephon Diggs caught a really nice touchdown.
Yeah, Diggs didn't have a crazy game. He only had 48 yards, but he had a nice touchdown pass.
Touchdown.
Yeah, Dawson Knox had 70 yards. Gabe Davis had 68. Decent. Singletary had 86 yards and a TD. James Cook had 86. The Buffalo had a good distribution of
even more importantly, they have an amazing defense, and Von Miller came up big. So Buffalo Bill wins. Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo
like it's the
Bills?
Silence of the Lambs.
Buffalo Bill?
Buffalo Bill, it puts the lotion in the basket.
Yeah.
Buffalo Bills with a win and keeping now, I think they moved back into first place in their division.
No.
Because of the Jets' loss?
No.
Oh.
Because they lost to Miami.
Miami.
So they're still second.
And Miami was on a bye this past week.
Yeah. The Jets, however, dropped to last because they lost.
Yeah, horrible game. All right, so the Bills, who picked that game?
Also should mention Amari Cooper had a great game for...
He did.
For Cleveland. We have to give him his props.
Yeah.
113 yards, 2 TDs. I like Amari Cooper.
Yeah, Amari Cooper's good.
Dallas should have kept him. I picked the Browns. You picked the Bills.
All right, so I get that one. I get the Bills game. All right, next, let's move on.
Way to go. Yeah, this is going pretty good. All right.
Now,
Commanders and the Texans. They flew to Texas. Now, if everybody knows, everything's bigger in Texas.
Even the losses.
But not for this football
The Commanders, we talked about how good the Commanders' defense was versus especially that Eagles game.
Mm-hmm.
You could see how good the defense is. Put that on top of the fact that Heineke is playing really well.
Yeah.
The Texans are garbage. They're having they'll be the first pick overall next year. It'll be them or the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So really, this wasn't a surprise considering how the Commanders are on a bit of a heater.
Mm-hmm.
They're now above 500.
Yeah, they're 6-5.
6-5.
Which is crazy.
So that NFC East division is crazy. Everyone is above 500. Commanders are on a bit of a heater. The Texans had no shot in this one. How well did Heineke play?
This game was exciting, though, because it was the first game in history that DraftKings just started prop bets on NFL games. So it's actually pretty fun. So a lot of...
What kind of prop bet?
Well, a lot of people thought, chances that Heineke would catch a snap in the head.
Yeah. I didn't know there was odds on
number
that.
of hot dogs sold in the stadium.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Fun things like that.
Fun game. Yeah. Instead of actually player props.
No. There was no
Gotcha.
stats. This game actually was comical. Actually, let's go through it just for fun.
The defense, by the way, in fantasy for Yahoo Fantasy, the Washington defense put up 24 fantasy points, which is insane for a defense. So they sacked the crap. I think it was an interception and a pick six, or
I don't even know.
What was the stats on?
Well, Heineke had 191 yards.
Okay.
He had no TDs, no interceptions, and no sacks. So he went for the triple burger right there. He said, "I'm not doing any of it.
I got nothing."
I got none of it." Davis Mills was on fire.
In a bad way.
Yeah, literally, because he was smoking a cigarette on the side of the...
As the uniform got.
And unfortunately, he was too close to the fan there, and it caught...
Gotcha.
He had 169 yards, 0 TDs, 2 interceptions, 5 sacks.
Oh.
But he led the team in rushing.
Mills? Huh.
With 10 yards.
That's pretty awful.
He led the team in rushing with 10 yards.
And he rushed 10 yards.
And he scored a TD. The only TD of the game.
Wow.
10 yards.
That's pretty bad.
How do you only have 10 yards rushing? That doesn't even make sense.
Yeah. The whole team?
The whole team.
Had 10 yards
10 yards rushing.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So no surprise there. The Commanders won. I think we both...
Oh, no, sorry. The team had 21 yards rushing.
But he had 10.
He had 10. Yeah. The other 11 yards were divided up between 7 other players.
That's really awful. Who picked who in this burger game?
Yeah. There's more horrible stats here, but we don't have to get into it.
No, I want to try and keep this tight.
That's all. We're keeping this tight. You and I both picked Washington.
All right, it was a pretty easy.
Which is embarrassing.
There. All right,
we're going to your Eagles and your Colts. That made your butthole pucker up pretty good there. Hey, sunshine?
I
thought you were losing
myself. The Colts were winning that entire game.
I thought you were going to lose.
Jeff Saturday, recently appointed head coach, no experience necessary.
Yeah.
And they won their first game.
Yeah.
He did actually. I'll give Jeff Saturday props. He brought Matt Ryan back off the bench, which made the most sense.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want Ellinger out there.
Yeah.
So Jeff Saturday, kudos for that. And you won your first game. Now you're facing the Eagles, and I was like, well, I don't like this because the Eagles are coming off of a weird loss, and then the Colts are coming off of a hot win, and everyone's praising Jeff Saturday. I'm like, I don't like this game at all. And then it started off very rough for my Eagles, but when it came down to it, and they needed a touchdown to win the game, Jalen Hurts rushed it in, solid, put it to bed, and then the defense stopped the Colts from getting close enough for a field goal.
Eagles, I mean, yeah, you won. You won.
A W.
Eagles are great. I mean, that's all there is to it. If you look at the stats, even the stats I have here, Eagles are looking great. I mean, that's all there is to it. This one, they were just a little, whatever. It was what it was. It's still a win.
I didn't like it.
A win's a win, baby. You take the win.
I'll take the W.
You take the W.
Eagles are 9-1 and the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving weekend in the USA coming up. This Sunday night football game is going to be my 9-1 Eagles versus K-Dog's Green Bay Packers. I am so excited for this game. It's very rare that our two teams get to play each other. I am very excited for this game.
I'm not as excited.
And the Eagles, now 9-1, still leading that division.
My excitement's like a 4.
But I was not happy with how they won. I thought it was very not good.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers weren't that great. Jalen Hurts, 190 yards, 1 TD, 3 sacks, but he rushed 1 yard. He led the team in rushing again with 86 yards. Matt Ryan, 213 yards, no TDs, no interceptions, 4 sacks. Not great numbers.
4 sacks isn't good.
But other than that, I mean, the stats weren't great. The game was kind of whatever, but you pulled out a win. A win's a win.
I'll take
the win.
it.
Take the win.
Who picked who in that game? We both take the Eagles?
I took the Colts.
You took the Colts?
I'm taking the Colts all the way till week 17,
you
baby.
almost got
week 18.
You almost got a flyer on that one because that was close. It was a 1-point win. 17-16 Eagles. All right, next game.
All right, Jets went to the Patriots.
Now,
did you watch this game?
Yeah.
I was watching this game.
The Jets have a bugaboo, and that is Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
It's just like no matter how good the Jets team you have, Bill Belichick just knows how to stick it to the Jets.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson actually looked like he belongs in the stands serving peanuts. He didn't give a in the press conference after.
He is getting lit up.
He did not take any responsibility. He was just like ho-hum, whatever. And it was 1,000% Zach Wilson's fault. The backup is Flacco, by the way.
Yeah.
Who has the interesting stat. When Flacco was filling in for Zach Wilson when he was injured, Flacco has more touchdowns this season as the backup than Zach Wilson does as a starter.
No.
So put Flacco in because this is you're leading this division. You just came off of a win against the Bills.
Yeah.
And the Jets it was a horrible game, and then the Patriots ended up winning on a kickoff return.
Yeah. Oh, it was insane. It was insane. I think Zach Wilson is just an arrogant punk little piece of shit.
Yeah, he was the one.
No disrespect. No disrespect.
When you say no disrespect, you can say whatever.
You can say whatever I
want.
want. But you just seem like you're just better than all of us, and you had 77 yards. So take some ownership in the loss, okay?
He
Shut your
tweeted
mouth,
to Giselle when Tom Brady announced the divorce. Zach Wilson, I'm like, you got some balls to be tweeting, don't worry, Giselle, I got you, after the divorce was announced. And then you had about 3 fantasy points as a starting quarterback in a game where I think the Patriots were a 3-point favorite at home. But the Jets have been like...
You just honestly...
It's all Zach Wilson's fault.
You bench this Abercrombie wannabe door model and just put Flacco in. Bench him for the rest of the season, honestly. Like, just bench him. Get rid of him. It's done. They're saying he's done. They're not going to put up with it.
I actually really like the Jets head coach this year, Saleh.
He's great.
He came over from the 49ers. I think
he's awesome.
He's a great coach.
And their D is great.
Yeah.
You know? So
that shows it. And really, I don't know. The way that game went yesterday and being how tough the AFC East is, I don't think the Jets are going to do it. I could actually see the Patriots, if there's going to be 3 teams from that division making playoffs.
Yeah.
Dolphins and Bills, no, not even a question.
Yeah.
One of them is going to win the division. The other is going to get a wild card. However, when it comes to the other 2 teams, I don't know. I don't think the Jets, after the way they played yesterday, even deserve a wild card spot after that.
You know what I think this is exposing?
What's that?
Is that once Hall went down, you know, the running back,
Breece
Hall with his what's it, an ACL?
ACL,
MCL.
MCL.
He was lighting it up.
Yeah, he was.
You know, I think him lighting it up was hiding the fact that Zach Wilson was a friggin' dumpster fire. And now that he's gone and he's on the IR, everyone's like, holy shit, Zach Wilson's garbage. And Zach Wilson's like, I'm not garbage. I'm amazing. And it's like, but you're not. Because you had 77 yards, no TDs, an interception, and 4 sacks. Are those good stats? I don't think they are.
They're not good.
I mean, the Patriots they had 246 yards, Mac Jones did, and they only had a field goal. A field goal till the kickback, you know? So we should talk about that. That punt return was crazy.
Yeah.
There was 5 seconds left on the clock. Marcus Jones catches it, runs it back, wins the game off that. Hasn't been done since like 2010 or something like that.
A kickoff return to win the game.
It was insane. But you just got to talk about, Zach Wilson's not doing himself any favors. Yeah. And I hope they bench him for the rest of the season.
Who picked 2 in that game?
I probably took the Jets. Sounds about right. You took the Jets. I took the Patriots.
All right, so you got a win.
I get a win. All right,
next game.
Right. Lions, Giants in New York.
So the Lions were on the road, which gave the Buffalo Bills a chance to go play their game in Detroit. Mm-hmm. However, the Lions have been sneaky. Like, they put up a lot of points. They've been playing decently. You actually never know when the Lions are going to pull one out. No. So it's so hit or miss. So it didn't shock me that they beat the Giants, because I honestly, despite the Giants' record, I don't have faith in the Giants. And maybe that's bias as an Eagles fan and the NFC East division. I don't want to see them do well.
Yeah.
But I think that the Giants' wins have not been against really good teams, and that I don't think they're as good as their record says that they are.
Yeah.
So it actually doesn't shock me that the Lions put them down.
I wasn't sold on the Giants either. I've been talking about that for weeks.
Yeah.
Because the teams they've played have been garbage. The wins they had, and then whenever they play a good team, they lose. Now, Detroit's not a great team.
No.
I mean, Jared Goff had a solid game. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
165 yards, no TDs, no interceptions, no sacks. I mean, that's some solid numbers there.
No interceptions,
no sacks is great.
That's good.
But you also got to throw a TD every once in a while. I know he doesn't like them. He's not a fan of them. He's always found. He's like, and then he goes, the next day my arm's sore.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And I was like, makes sense, right? I get that, right?
But
that's
the
why they
Giants
had
don't
160 yards rushing, and they had 4 TDs off rushing. So,
but the Giants don't have any weapons other than Saquon Barkley.
No, Saquon Barkley's the only
That's
weapon.
the only weapon. And I don't think Daniel Jones is that great of a quarterback. So
no,
it doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So
Daniel Jones had 341 yards and 1 TD, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. I mean, you didn't have great numbers.
No, but still he threw for over 300 yards.
341 yards.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Saquon Barkley had his worst game.
Really?
It was his worst game of the season. Saquon Barkley only had 22 yards. Worst game of the season.
Really?
Worst game of the season.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just saying.
So the Giants lost a real donkey of a game to lose to the Lions and when you're at the home team.
Yeah.
Not a good game. As an Eagles fan, I like it because the Giants are one step down.
Yep.
Who picked who in that game?
I'd also like to point out that Daniel Jones led the team in rushing.
With how many yards?
40? 50 yards.
50 yards? Yeah.
Saquon Barkley had 22.
But Saquon probably had some receiving yards.
This is like dogs and cats
living together.
Anyways, they lost. Lions won 31-18.
You picked the Lions, didn't you?
Lions are 4-6 now. I totally took the Lions.
All right, you win that one. I don't know why.
I like the Lions.
I shouldn't. They're in my division. Rooted against the Giants. I don't know why I took them at home. All right.
Rams and Saints. The Rams are being the Rams again.
Yeah. So Cooper Kupp is out. High ankle sprain, needs surgery. On top of that, they weren't sure if Matthew Stafford was going to clear concussion protocol to even play this game.
Yeah.
And he did, only to get injured and go back into concussion protocol. So way to rush Matthew Stafford back. The Saints, I mean, they didn't play very well, but it was good enough. The Rams are in the basement in their division after winning the Super Bowl last year.
Oh, yeah.
They're going from first to worst in their division.
Yeah, they're 3-7. It's weird,
It's bad.
But it's weird. Why?
It's weird because they have an amazing defense. It's basically the same team from last year.
Yeah, it's just odd.
Cooper Kupp, but he's injured. Stafford not playing well.
Yeah.
It's so weird. The Rams on paper should not be this bad.
Yeah, it's just weird. But anyways, Saints 27, Rams 20. Stafford, 159 yards, 2 TDs and a sack. He did get knocked back into concussion protocol. Dalton, the Red Rocket, had 260 yards, 3 TDs, 3 sacks. But he came out to play.
I think Taysom Hill had a pretty decent game.
Yeah, Taysom Hill had 52 yards rushing.
And the rookie Olave at wide receiver, he had another touchdown.
Yeah, the Saints had a good receiving game. Yeah. They spread it around a bit. Olave had 102 yards, nice, with a TD. Juwan Johnson had 47 yards and a TD. Kamara threw in another 47 yards.
Nice.
And Jarvis Landry had 33 yards and a TD. I like Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
I've always been a Jarvis Landry fan.
Him. Yeah.
But again, both these teams, Saints are 4-7. They're on the bottom of their division.
Yeah.
Rams are 3-7. They're living in the basement.
I don't think either of these teams now, with how late we are in the season, I don't think either of these teams are going to make the playoffs or a wild card.
Well, the Rams are playing the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, that's
not ideal in Arrowhead.
That's a loss.
And the Saints are playing, because no one's on a bye this week, the Saints are playing the 49ers.
That's a loss.
That's not good.
It is very excited about week 12. So you guys to make sure to tune in later in the week for our prediction show. There are no bye weeks coming up. It's 3 games on Thanksgiving American Thursday. Mm-hmm. Great games. We're really excited about that.
I'm so jealous of the American Thanksgiving. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
You guys get football all day, all these great things. Canada, what do we get? We got planes, trains, and automobiles on CBC edited.
That's decent.
That's all we get.
We'll take
That's
that.
what we get, yeah.
So this week, we should say the teams that were on bye this week that did not play for week 11, the Bucks, the Jags, the Dolphins, and the Seahawks. And everyone's playing in week 12. All right, continuing on, week 11.
The Raiders went to Mile High to go see Russell Wilson.
So the Broncos suck. The coach is going to get fired.
Yeah.
He's no good. He hasn't been fired yet. No. But he will be.
They released Melvin Gordon today.
Yeah, which makes no sense.
They traded Chubb.
Yeah, they traded Bradley Chubb to the Dolphins, and then they got Chase Edmonds in that trade. But now your lead running back, who's going to be that after he's gone?
Chase Edmonds
or Latavius Murray, maybe. But
yeah, Latavius Murray had a game.
I don't get waiving Melvin Gordon. Are you tanking now? But yeah, this is.
You're tanking now?
Yeah, I don't get it. But you pay Russell Wilson all this money to come over from the Seahawks, and the season is already done. And the Raiders, who have not been playing well, come into town and smoke you. Devontae Adams had 2 touchdowns. Yeah. Or some of the stats.
Yeah, Raiders 22, Broncos 16. Derek Carr, 307 yards, 2 TDs, 1 sack. Russell Wilson lit it up. 247 yards, no TDs, no interceptions, but he was sacked 3 times. Solid numbers. Josh Jacobs went off for 109 yards, which is nice. The only rushing yards they had. And Devontae Adams had a game. 149 yards, 2 TDs. Yeah. I think that the game was won in the last minutes, I think, for Devontae Adams.
It was Adams, yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing going on. Denver's got nothing going on receiving. They got nothing going on rushing. Cortland Sutton had 80 yards. That was fine. But other than that, I mean, Latavius Murray had 49 yards. Melvin Gordon had 31 yards rushing and 39 yards,
And you waive him.
Receiving, and then you waive him. Well, I'm pretty sure if I'm looking at these stats, he played pretty good. So I don't know what's going on there in Denver. They're all right.
1,000% going to fire Hackett, the head coach, and I can predict the newspaper headline right now.
Yeah,
he just couldn't hack it.
Yeah. Oh, that's guaranteed.
That'll be the headline.
Guarantee
in the Denver papers.
Yeah.
When he's fired because they suck. All right, who picked 2?
I picked the Raiders.
All right.
Because I always pick the Raiders because I'm always like Derek Carr and Devontae Adams got to get together eventually.
After the Raiders, I know why I took the Broncos. 1, they were at home, and 2, because the way the Raiders played last week. So I'll take that loss on that one. That was a good call. The Raiders played well. Next,
this game was ridiculous. Didn't make any friggin' sense.
What's that?
It was Dallas and the Vikings. Like, what was going on here?
The Cowboys were a 1-point favorite going into Minnesota on the road. And Minnesota's record before this game was 8-1.
8-1. Yeah.
So like it baffled us that the Cowboys were favored to win against an 8-1 team on the road. And obviously somebody knew something we didn't, because the Dallas Cowboys destroyed the Vikings.
Yeah.
I mean, it was emasculating. Kirk Cousins had negative fantasy points.
Yeah.
It was so bad that Dallas was scoring on everything. Tony Pollard had 2 TDs.
Oh, Tony Pollard went
Ezekiel
off.
Elliott had 2 TDs.
Yeah.
Give us some of the stats from that game, because it was offside how the Cowboys just decimated the Vikings.
The funny thing is, the Vikings are at the bottom of the list for yards allowed in the league. So obviously,
So defense is
defense is an issue. Dallas went off on them, right? So Prescott, 276 yards, 2 TDs, no interceptions, no sacks. Prescott had a solid game. Cousins, 105 yards, no TDs, no interceptions, and he got sacked 7 times.
7.
7 is just like 6 too many.
That's like how many gold chains he was wearing on the plane.
That's too many.
After
right?
that win against the
That was not good. That was not good.
Yeah.
Dallas's numbers were impressive. 151 yards rushing, 307 yards receiving. Pollard had 80 rushing yards, 109 receiving yards, 2 TDs, 189 yards combined.
And he's the second running back, by the way.
Elliott only had 42 yards and 2 TDs. But I think they have a good 1-2 punch now.
Yeah.
Because Pollard's not as big as Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott's like he's like Jerome Bettis almost.
He's short and he's wide and strong.
So you get first and goal.
Yeah.
You just give the ball to Elliott and just let him run it in, right? Because he's got that Gus the Bus body, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever you want to call it, you know? So Jerome Bettis, they called him the Bus too, didn't they?
Did they?
I think they called Jerome Bettis the Bus too. I'm not sure. But that's a good 1-2 punch, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Paul is a little bit more sleek because he can get the receiving yards as well. CeeDee Lamb had an okay game too. Minnesota had nothing going on.
No. It was
Justin Jefferson only had 3 receptions for 33 yards.
That's really
which was
low.
weird.
Yeah.
TJ Hawkinson was leading the team in receiving with 34 yards, and Dalvin Cook had 72 yards. So that was pretty good rushing.
Yeah, but your leading receiver only had 30 yards. That's horrible.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
No. So at the end of the day, total yards, if you wanted to give some quick stats to say how Dallas just decimated Minnesota, which was crazy. Dallas, 458 yards. Minnesota, 183. Yards per play, Dallas was pushing up 7 yards per play. Minnesota could put only 3 yards.
Not even close.
Possession was 37 minutes to 23 minutes. It was crazy. But the question now we all have is, because of your Eagles, can Dallas run the table? Well, here you go. The remaining games: Giants win, Colts win, Texans win, Jags win, Eagles, Christmas Eve.
Maybe.
Who's in the Christmas mood? Titans, not sure.
Tough. That's
and they end on Washington.
Yeah.
I don't know. Dallas could have a pretty solid last 7 games. I don't know.
That Christmas Eve game versus the Eagles will be a barn burner. That'll be very
That's going to be a
interesting.
game.
The Eagles already beat the Cowboys earlier this season, and it was against Cooper Rush. So they already have a divisional advantage by having a win against them. The Eagles still have to face the Giants twice. So all of it will come to fruition very soon. Who picked who in this game?
We both took the Vikings.
Oh, that was dumb.
Yeah, so we both took a...
One of us should have taken the Cowboys.
Whoops. Yeah.
All right, next.
Bengals went to Pittsburgh.
Now, the Bengals actually, after dominating last week, and I mean like dominating last week, and Mixon having 3 TDs, they did not come out swinging in this game.
No.
I feel like this is a divisional game as well. First game of the season, Pittsburgh upset the Bengals.
Yep.
I remember that still. And Pittsburgh won that game. So I feel like Pittsburgh has the Bengals number.
Yeah.
However,
not today.
The Bengals did, although I don't feel like it was very back and forth, that the Bengals actually pulled out this win, but I don't think they utilized rushing the ball with Mixon in this game like they did last week.
Yeah. So Bengals 37, Steelers 30.
It was close.
So again, Steelers dropped to 3-7, bottom of the division now, tied with Cleveland. Cleveland's one game or up on them, obviously, because they obviously beat them.
Yeah.
Bengals dropped to second, 6-4 behind the Ravens. Burrow had a game.
Yeah.
355 yards, 4 TDs, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks. Kenny Pickett 265 yards, 1 TD, 2 sacks.
Didn't Najee Harris have a really good game?
Najee Harris did. He had 90 yards rushing with 2 TDs, which was nice.
Yeah.
For Pittsburgh, George Pickens had a good game too. He had 83 yards,
Rookie?
1 TD. That was great. I mean, I like Pittsburgh. I like Tomlinson.
Yeah.
You know, Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin is not going to have his first season as head coach.
Oh, I know, that sucks.
He's not going to have a winning record. Yeah. It's basically impossible, and we really do like Mike Tomlin. He's not going anywhere. He's not going to get fired.
Yeah.
This is a rebuild year coming off of Big Ben retiring. So Tomlin's job is safe. The Steelers it's just weird seeing the Steelers and Mike Tomlin not have a winning record. It'll be his first season as head coach, not being above 500.
But the question is, Bengals win.
Yeah.
But we've already discussed the Ravens, and they seemed a little. They've been getting wins, but they haven't been dominating.
Yeah,
they're leading the division, but they're 7-3. Bengals are 6-4.
It'll be interesting. They play each other.
Yeah, could the Bengals overtake the Ravens?
Very possible. Very possible.
Very possible.
But both teams, I feel, will make the playoffs. One will be a wild card. The other will be the division winner. That will be interesting. I love playoff football. I can't wait.
It's the best. Yeah.
I can't wait. Once we get through Christmas, we'll sort of decide everything. Playoffs start in January. Oh, I can't wait.
I know. All right.
Okay,
boom.
next.
We both took the Bengals. All good.
Oh, okay, well, that's
all right. Kansas City versus the Chargers. Chiefs versus the Chargers. Sunday Night Football.
That was a good game.
And it's just the Chiefs. All right, let's go. Where do you want to start?
The Chiefs were 6.5-point favorites on the road. So the Chargers not getting a lot of love.
No.
They got Dicker the kicker.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert's been playing well. Eckler's a beast.
Yeah.
I was really excited about this game. The Chargers started off really strong. Palmer got the first of his 2 TDs for the Chargers right off the hop. They actually looked really good.
Yeah.
You just can't stop Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs. I don't care if they're on the road. I don't care if they're at home. I don't care how good the Chargers played last week. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs just said,
they just win.
All right.
They just win. They just win.
They know how to win, especially Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't even look nervous. Like, towards the end of that game, and it was a great game by both teams.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
So late in the game, Chargers throw a deep ball. Keenan Allen gets it. It was a fumble. And you're like, oh, the Chiefs are going to win.
Yeah.
Then the Chargers got a fumble from the Chiefs to get the ball back and score and take the lead.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, don't give the Chiefs that much time on the clock.
Yeah.
And it wasn't much.
Yeah.
But they had just enough time. I think it was a $1:37 or something like that. And Patrick Mahomes said, that's enough time.
He doesn't care.
Go the length of the field, give Travis Kelce his 3rd TD of the game, and win, and game over, and Chiefs win.
Yeah. There was a part in the 4th quarter where Sunday Night Football was panning over, and Mahomes was on the bench, and he was looking at the iPad, and they caught it from behind, and he was watching Spirited, the new Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell Apple TV movie. He was knee deep in that. He was not watching any gameplay whatsoever. And even after it, he said, well, it was pretty good.
It was a good movie.
He was hooked.
Yeah.
You know? He does not care. He's like, how much time's left? 3 minutes. Yeah, whatever. Let's just go 4 and out because I want to make it a challenge.
I got to challenge myself. I think one of these days he's going to go, I'm going to play the entire 4th quarter left-handed.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He does prop bets with him and Kelce. The two of them. It's insane. Anyways.
All right, so some stats.
It was still close, but it was still
really close.
But it was still the entire game. You're just like, they're going to win.
Yeah,
they're just going to win.
Just know how to win.
So the Chiefs won 30, Chargers 27, drops the Chargers to 5-5. Chargers should be better than 5-5.
Way better. They keep losing close ones.
They should be better than 5-5.
Yeah.
And this is their 2nd loss now to Kansas City. The first loss was in week 2. They were 27-24 on Thursday Night Football.
Divisional.
Divisional, yeah. So now they're in 2nd place. Vegas and the Broncos are in the basement because they're both
yeah.
But, the Chiefs and the Chargers, no big deal. Mahomes, 329 yards, 3 TDs, no interceptions, 1 sack. No interceptions is pretty good for Mahomes because sometimes he gets a little crazy.
He rarely, even the 1 sack was impressive by the Chargers defense because he scrambles so much and he's so slippery.
Yeah.
To even get a sack is impressive.
He's
He
wiry.
never gets sacked.
He's wiry.
He's very wiry.
Herbert, 280 yards, 2 TDs, and an interception. He got sacked 5 times.
Yeah, that's too much.
So Kansas City's defense doesn't get enough credit. I gotta admit that.
I'll give you that.
But the biggest thing was, I mean, let's face it, Kelce had 115 yards and 3 TDs.
Yeah.
You can't stop
You
Kelce.
can't stop the guy.
You just can't stop him. Justin Watson had 67 yards. Pacheco, how do you say his name? Pacheco or?
Yeah, I think Pacheco is pretty good. Yeah.
Pacheco had 107 yards rushing.
That's because Allaire,
Yeah.
he had to leave the game with an injury.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Edwards-Helaire, yeah.
So he was out. So Pacheco stepped up, and he was very fast. He reminds me of a really young, like Mark Ingram or something. Like a smaller guy, really fast.
Yeah.
And very, like, just a good, he's got some good moves.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't like crapping on the Chargers because honestly, they played a good game. They got a good core. I mean, Austin Eckler is amazing. He's awesome.
Solid, yeah.
83 yards and a TD.
And on our fantasy team.
Yeah, Austin Eckler is awesime. Josh Palmer had 106 yards, 2 TDs.
Yeah.
And Keenan Allen, which I believe was his first game back.
I think you're right.
94 yards. I mean, they got it. They have a team.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be 5-5. You know?
I agree. They should be way better.
Like 7-3 maybe, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens. The Browns should be better than they are. It doesn't matter. It is what it is.
So who picked the game? We probably
the Packers should be 10-0.
They should be,
but they're not.
Collusion.
Actually, 11-0. Actually, I've got week 12 coming up.
Who picked who? We both took the Chargers. Or sorry, Chiefs.
Oh yeah, we both took the Chiefs. Yeah.
We both took the Chiefs.
Yeah, both took the
that
Chiefs.
was a smart call.
Yeah, of course we did. Yeah.
All right, so that was the Sunday night game. At the time of recording this, the Monday night game has not played, so we'll do a special recap of Monday Night Football coming up this week. So make sure you tune into that. And the game is the 49ers and the Cardinals, and it's being played in Mexico City.
Ugh.
Who did we pick, just for reference? At the time of watching this game would have played already.
We both took the 49ers. They're 8-point favorites.
Pretty good call.
But last year, the game in Mexico City was a debacle, and the field was so bad.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the game will be played and how good the field conditions are. So we both took the 49ers in the Monday night game. Don't forget to tune in because we will have our Week 12 prediction show in there as well. We will talk fantasy football versus fans. Our game this week has already been decided, but there's a bunch hinging on the Monday night game as far as the standings.
Gotcha.
But we dominated. So we'll talk fantasy football in our prediction show this week. Make sure you check out Just a Bit Offside on Instagram for more bonus content. On this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Very excited about Week 12. American Thanksgiving football and no bye weeks. We're going to have a lot of games, so I'm really excited about it.
I'm stoked.
We'll see you guys again soon. Until next time, I'm Fish.
Get up.
Peace.